Hello, my name is David Manbeck. I'm the Director of Business Development with Synergy HomeCare East Valley.
Hello, I'm Linda Morales, Senior Director of Synergy HomeCare of the East Valley.
And I'm Mike Endredy, President of Synergy HomeCare of the East Valley. And welcome to Synergy HomeCare.
So Linda, why don't you share with us a story of a home assessment that didn't go so well and the reasons why you think it didn't go well and what could have been done differently to make it a positive outcome?
Right.
We've all been there.
Yeah. So there's a lot of things that can make an assessment not go well. We all know that. I think one that maybe stands out to me a lot is the phone call that we get of the spouse or the family member, and they want to meet you and talk to you about the care their loved one needs without the loved one there. They want to share what they need, how they need it, and when you get to talking about, can I meet your loved one, they don't even know. They don't know why they need care. They don't know any of it, and the family member doesn't want to tell them that they need care. They want us to come in and say, hey, pretend you're mom's friend and pretend that you know her, and that always tends to not go in a good way, and it creates a lot of barriers and a lot of hurdles for us to have to overcome. So that's one that stands out to me a lot, because then you have to follow up with the phone call, then you have to figure out how to get back in the home, and then you have to figure out how to talk to the person that's going to be receiving the care and how to educate the caregivers on why and how to change it. And then it just turns into a negative situation is the way I look at it.
And then you're always worried when you have those situations, you're always worried about who do I tell what to? Because it wasn't open in communication. It wasn't transparent to begin with. So as a result of it not being transparent to begin with, like I said, you're always worried about who are you going to tell what to.
Right.
And it just is hard to carry on success that way.
It really turns into a big ball of mistruths, right?
Absolutely.
That we're going to be holding eventually. It's just a matter of when it explodes, because we can't maintain that. So yeah, totally.
Yeah, and another thing too, it sets a different tone just internally, because now you have to involve the employee in saying, make sure you don't say this, make sure you say this. And then sometimes now they are fearful of how they're going to ruin this. And that's just, it's not good.
And they get in the middle of it as well.
Right.
Yeah. And another one that I run into sometimes as well when things don't go well is that they've just entered this conversation about home care late. Right. It needed to be done 2-3 weeks ago, if not months ago. And mom and dad, where the loved one is really is almost beyond home care at this point in time. Their condition is deteriorated enough where now it's home care and maybe a nurse that needs to come in, because the condition had just deteriorated too far. So I've run into experiences a lot of times in home assessments where that conversation may have been open, may have been candid, but it's months late.
Yeah. And now they need more.
And now they need way
home care.
more than just home care.
And they need it yesterday.
And therefore you're worried about, you're worried about a laundry list of things to do, and not really setting your loved one up for success.
Right.
Because it's just too far. It's just happened too late. Can these things be solved? Yes, they can be solved. Absolutely. But it just isn't setting the scenario and the family and the loved one up for success when it's late in the game, when it's that far late.
Yeah.
Without a doubt, when we run into those families and they hit that panic button, they need it like yesterday. We've all seen it, to where that laundry list is a hurdle, a mountain, if you will, for us to overcome. And those clients, those families, take a lot out of us and our team, but also longer to turn around because they did wait too long to get us involved or get some knowledge.
That's very true.
And a lot of times that waiting is out of fear. They know they're deteriorating. They know their condition is changing. It's out of fear. And it's just that reassurance that we're not there to take away somebody's independence. We're there to allow them to stay as independent as they possibly can safely. We're there to make sure that if they could make a meal, if they could do vacuuming, if they could do laundry, they're going to do that. We're not going to do it for them. But as long as we're there, it's going to occur safely. And that's what a lot of times that conversation hasn't happened to allow it. And therefore, that's where the delay comes in. And that's where that happens. And a fall occurs.
Right. I think partly what you said is a lot of it is fear, but a lot of it, too, is also not knowing.
Absolutely.
Like, I see that my mom is now forgetful, but we're all forgetful. I see that my mom didn't eat, but who can help me with that? So They go hand in hand, and by the time they get to a point, or we get to a point that she's no longer eating daily and I have no idea of what she's doing, it's at a point where, who do I call? What do I do?
Yeah.
And that's where it's a little too late, where that climbing that mountain gets harder. Absolutely. Yeah.